Hey guys, so I sort of wanted to dedicate today's video to just the overall status, I guess, of Global Dokkan, as well as what we can expect to see coming up soon, what's going on right now in the game, and I guess some of the issues that people are having with the game right now, and just sort of that kind of thing. It's sort of just going to be a very informal discussion of the status of the game, I guess. Sort of like a seasonal update, I guess. I don't know. I really don't make these videos that much, so I feel like it's warranted at this point to sort of get my thoughts out there and let you guys know what I think about what's happening. So let's take a look at the current celebrations going on right now, the all-out effort Otherworld Showdown campaign. This is part 2, obviously, to the PyCon and Janemba celebration here. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we actually have going on. So taking a look at actually how long this celebration is going to go on for, it's only going to go until the 27th, and this technically did start yesterday. So I'm recording this video on the 15th of April. This is going pretty much for a week, a little less than 2 weeks. So we're going to have to a little less than 2 weeks. So that's not that long of a celebration. And if we actually take a look at what we're getting here, I would say that people are complaining a lot about this celebration really lacking content, which it depends on really how you look at it. I think there are two angles you could look at this from. So the first piece of content that we're getting, right, is the Prime Battle for Babidi and Boo, which I think is actually good. The last Prime Battle we got was the LR Krillin, which was a while ago. And I mean, it gives you something to do. It's not particularly interesting or fun, or, you know, it's a grinding event. So you're not really going to have a lot of fun, I guess, quote-unquote, grinding this. The objective is just to get the unit done and move on. Then we have an Extreme Z battle for the Goku and Vegeta. Again, I don't really think EZAs are considered quote-unquote fun to do. Some people can have fun with them. Maybe if you want to like challenge yourself and go forward, you know, higher up in the ranks, challenge those stages that are above stage 30 and keep going and see how far you can get. That's fun. I mean, I consider that a fun thing to do. But, you know, EZAs are good. I think people consider celebrations to be much better, the quality overall to be much better when there's EZAs included in the celebrations. So I think that's good that that's there. Then we have Chain Battle. So this came out last night. This is probably what I would consider to be, up to this point, the worst Chain Battle so far. It's really not fun. With PyCons and Janembas and Majin Vegetas. It's just like, I don't know, this mode needs to be revamped. At the beginning, when they released this mode, I didn't really have a problem with it. The biggest problem that I have with this mode now is the fact that it's been, I mean, when did they start this event? Like 8, 9, 10 months ago? Maybe it's almost been a year since this mode has been released, and we're at the point now where they need to start implementing changes to the mode. We've seen that there are issues here, right? We've seen that there's problems with the mode, and we need to start seeing them, you know, respond to criticism and implement changes that would make the mode better, improve the mode, etc. So I'd like to see them actually take initiative to do that, but unfortunately they haven't done that yet, and the mode continues to be boring and bad. So, you know, again, I give them props for trying, because it's something different, and it's something that, you know, I like to see them experiment with different things. Like Battlefield 1.0, I thought was a really good experiment. I thought it was stupid that they discontinued that event, because it's different, and they didn't really need to just completely cancel it. There were just other avenues they could have taken to try and different things with it. And so with this event as well, they need to, you know, constantly change and update it to make sure that it's molded into a fun experience for players, which I would argue right now it's not. So that's the, I guess, technically the third piece of real content we're getting with this celebration. So we have the Prime Battle, EZA for Goku and Vegeta, and then the Explosive Chain Battle. And then the last piece of content we're getting is going to be the World Tournament, which, yet another fan favorite, I guess you could dub it. But yeah, the World Tournament is coming on the 22nd, which is, actually, it's exactly a week from today, because I'm recording this video on April 15th. So the World Tournament is coming. That is the, I guess, fourth and final piece of actual gameplay content coming to the game during the celebration. And that is going to be over on the 25th here. So, again, the two angles you could look at from looking at this celebration is that, you know, there actually is a lot of content to do, and that's fine. Which is the angle that I'm looking at it from. The other angle you could look at it from is looking at this and saying, yes, there's a lot of content, but a lot of it is boring content, and a lot of it doesn't warrant being its own celebration. For instance, I would argue that Chain Battle and World Tournament are the two most disliked modes in the game. Right? I don't think that's like news to anybody. That's not like, you know, a news flash to anybody. It's pretty obvious that those two events are pretty much universally disliked by most of the community. So the fact that, you know, the celebration is being dominated by, you know, events that people really don't like to do, and I would honestly throw in Prime Battles in there as well. You know, it's fun to get the reward at the end where you get the LR, Boo, and Bobbity, but, you know, the journey to get them is just very boring and monotonous. So yeah, there is content in this celebration, but it doesn't feel like there's stuff that people are really looking forward to doing and, like, you know, happy to do. And then we take a look at the banners that are accompanying this celebration. It's really just rerun banners. I mean, yeah, we have the PyCon and Janemba Dual Dokkan Fest banners that are up for the entirety of Part 1 and 2. So those are still up right now. In fact, I think the discounts leave tomorrow. But, you know, the Part 2 banners, people were speculating, oh, this could be the time where, you know, we get a Global First unit, or maybe we're going to have a same time celebration with JP. What they ended up doing on Global was they ended up just putting up a rerun for the, you know, the Boo Saga Angel Vegeta, as well as the Rose Goku Black, right, as legendary summons, individual legendary summon banners. These are only up for like 6 days each. So very short periods of time these banners are up for, but I mean, I think it's like 10 featured units for this guy. Just there's zero reason to summon on these banners. Just don't even bother. But I think it's interesting if you take a look at the end date of the celebration. Right? This end date of the celebration is the 27th, which is, again, like 12 days from now. If you take a look at the banners of PyCon and Janemba, they're also the 27th. So the celebration is ending, right, on the 27th, for sure. That's when it's over. If you look at the celebration that's currently going on JP, which is, I guess, whatever, the 100 Flowers Blooming in Profusion Spring Full Bloom Dokkan campaign. What a name. This celebration is also going to the 28th, which, you know, JST, which would actually line up perfectly with the 27th PST, or PDT, I guess, for Global. So these celebrations are pretty much ending at the exact same time. So there is, I guess, kind of merit for people to speculate that maybe, because after this, JP should be getting the Golden Week celebration, which is another Dual Dokkan Fest for them. So people have been talking about the fact that, you know, maybe, Global and JP could potentially celebrate Golden Week together for the first time ever. You know, I guess there's kind of some merit to that, but I personally don't think it's going to happen. If we take a look at the history of banners on JP over here, so this is, let me actually pull up the list here, but this is the banner we want to focus on. We actually are not that far behind JP if you take a look at everything that's come out since the anniversary, because the anniversary is set, right? The anniversary is going to be in July. That's when it always is. And so we take a look at what came out before the anniversary, and it was PyCon and Janemba. That was the last Dokkan Fest to come out before the anniversary. Currently on Global, the anniversary is literally like 3 months away. So we have a lot of time to catch up. So yeah, we're obviously the anniversary banners are set for July 7th or whatever the date is for those. So we have like 3 months for those to come out. And typically what happens is Global does actually get the first Dokkan Fest that JP gets after the anniversary before their anniversary. So we should be getting this Goten and Trunks banner, I think sometime, you know, end of May, early June, maybe. And then that will be our last Dokkan Fest leading up to the anniversary. And that's typically what happens on Global. That's, I think, the past 2 years that's happened with Kid Goku, happened with Beerus, so that should happen again this year as well, I would assume. So that leaves the question, you know, now until, you know, mid to late May / early June, what is going to happen? We have a full like month of nothing. So, I mean, you could, I guess, argue that because these celebrations are running at the same time, this could be the first year ever where Global and JP do celebrate, or have a shared Golden Week celebration together. But we could also just be getting a Global first, because we did that last year with UI Goku. We did that the year before with Go Bros. So, you know, that's one of those things is going to happen for sure. The main topic that I want to talk about in this video, and I know it's been going on for a while already, but the main thing I want to talk about is the lack of the new, I say new, but it's not even new anymore, Extreme Super Battle Road stages on Global. This is the biggest complaint that I have, because again, I'm under the impression that this celebration actually isn't that bad, because there's actually a lot to do. It's not really fun content. Like, these events are not really fun. The World Tournament is like the worst mode in the game, I would consider it. Chain Battle's not fun. Grinding a Prime Battle, it's just like a chore at this point. EZAs are cool. I have no issues with EZAs. But I mean, this is not the content that like I'm really looking forward to. I'm looking forward to stuff like Super Battle Road, right? And so what I want to do is I want to take a look at the release dates of the JP stages to the global stages, and really look at what is the gap between the release dates of both of the versions releasing these stages on the game. So we're going to go through, I think there's 6 sets. There's the regular stages, and then there's the extreme stages. So there's 2 sets of extreme stages, and there's 4 sets of normal stages. So let's take a look. We should have 6 variances here. So the first ever Super Battle Road stages on JP, released in October of 2017, and then global was February. So we go November, December, January, February. That's 4 months, give or take a few days. So 4 months, I would argue, is probably the average of difference between the 2 versions. Like 4 months is typically what spreads the 2 versions apart. Think about it, right? Anniversary for JPs is in February. Anniversary for globals is in July. So it's like 4/5 months. That's generally what the average gap is between the 2 versions. So this timeline makes sense. Next ones, we have July to December. So that's August, September, October, November, December. That's 5 months, you know, obviously give or take a week or whatever. So it's still within that relative time frame of being the average. Then we have, this is an anomaly because these stages actually released together at the same time on late August of 2019. I believe this was during the download celebration. It makes sense. This is where it lines up, right? So this is what I think they should continue doing, is they should just continue releasing these big events that people are looking forward to at the same time. I mean, it just makes more sense. Then we have these last normal Super Battle Road stages. This one released in August, and then this one released in December. So we have September, October, November, December. That's 4 months, give or take 2 weeks. So 4.5 months, right? About 4.5 months gap. That's, again, pretty average. So I'd say the actual average amount of time between when JP released all these stages and global did are relatively fine. There's nothing really egregious going on here, given the time frame difference between the 2 versions. Now we're getting to Extreme Super Battle Road. Here's where things sort of get a little bit different. So the first stages ever, so these are the type stages, the 5 type stages for SPR and JP, released on the 18th of March 2020. Okay, and then they released on September 15th, 2020 for global. So we go April, May, June, July, August, September. That's 6 months. 6 months, I would say, is where you start to really get to the point where people are going to get annoyed. And I'm saying this as if all global players are aware of the Japanese version of what they're getting, which is not the case. Obviously, there's a lot of global players who don't even know the JP version exists, and you know, they're just looking forward to getting content and events whenever they want or whenever they can. So this doesn't even apply to the whole player base, but I think for people who are watching this video and are interested in this topic, people know like how long we're waiting for these stages. So 6 months, I would say, is where you really start to deviate away from the average time that we see for these other stages. And 6 months, I think, is just too long for an event like this, right? And now let's take a look at these stages. So the category ESBR stages that JP received. By the way, they received these stages during the worldwide download celebration, which again was a same time celebration, which over here released at the same time, right? So these released on September 15th, 2020. Again, I'm recording this video on April 15th, 2021. So October, November, December, January, February, March, April. It has been 7 months since JP got these stages. 7. We don't have them yet on global. This is the longest wait we've ever had for, I think, honestly, any event to come out on global after JP got it. 7 months for these category stages. So the trend, honestly, if you take a look at what's going on here, I mean, these stages are pretty much relatively all the same time frame. But you know, this is 6 months, this is 7 months, and then you take a look at the actual banners that we have left to go through on JP compared to global. It's interesting because the gap between the banners on both versions is narrowing, but then the gap between the actual events like SBR is widening. So that's a problem. I think that's a big problem this game has to address at some point, because they can't just keep delaying these ESPR stages forever. 7 months is like, I don't even have a word for it. This is way too long. Why delay the stages that long? I mean, like, I think this is the longest we've ever had to wait for a single event to come from JP to Global of this caliber, right? Super Battle Road is like a main event. This is the content that you want to be, this is the hardest content in the game, right? Category ESBR. And, this is something that I think if they put this in the celebration, which, a lot of people thought it was going to come during the celebration. I thought it was going to come during the celebration. It's a perfect time to have it. Would have filled in a lot of time, made people, I guess, satisfied with the celebration a lot more easily. And I think that, there's no reason not to drop it right now. So I don't really know what they're waiting for, but I think this is the biggest problem right now that Global has, is that this is just this has been in limbo for 7 months. And to top it all off, it released during a celebration where, Global should have gotten these at the same time, because Global got these first ESPR stages when JP got the second round of stages. If they really wanted to push Global to be, somewhere within the same hemisphere of JP, they would have just pushed both sets at the same time. Like, imagine if they pushed both sets at the same time during the Worldwide Down celebration for Global. That would have been so much content. People would have still been having fun with these stages now on Global. So, I mean, this is really where we're at right now. I don't really know a way to solve this other than just release the stages. I don't know what they're waiting for. And if you think about it even further than that, Global's going to keep getting these characters that are going to just pummel these stages. So technically, they are taking away from some of the fun aspect of having these stages out on Global, because JP got these back during the Worldwide Down celebration, right? We have had so many powerful units come out since then for Global that it's going to make these stages easier for us than they were on JP, and that takes away from the challenge aspect. That takes away from the fun aspect of it. And that's just a way that they're affecting it in a negative way, I think. I'd rather just have the stages now so I can experiment with teams, use different units on them, and it just makes the game overall more fun to play. Like, I don't want to log in every day and just play Chain Battle or play World Tournament. I want to play Super Battle Road. That's the reason why I'm summoning for these units, why I'm playing the game. To have a challenge, to be able to actually, think about what I'm doing rather than just mindlessly tapping orbs. So I think that's the biggest issue that the game is having right now. You guys can let me know down below what you think about that. But again, I think in terms of just the celebration itself, it's actually not the worst ever. I think people are overreacting a little bit. I wouldn't give it like a 7 out of 10 or anything. I'd probably give it like a 5 out of 10 probably, but which isn't a great rating. I just don't think it's like a... People have given it like a 1 out of 10. I don't think it's like a 1 out of 10. I'd probably give it like a 5 out of 10. But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about here. Again, let me know down below what you guys think about this this issue or these issues on Global, and we'll see you guys all in the next one.